Hello, everyone. Welcome to Toastmasters for Professionals and to this Speakathon meeting. The mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before we get started, let me go over a few things. Please put yourself on mute if you're not speaking. We encourage you to be on camera, and we do not talk about sex, religion, or politics. This session is being recorded and may be used for promotional material. Back to you, Toastmaster Shikas.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guillermo. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. A warm welcome to each one of you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is Toastmaster for Professional, and I would just like to tell a little bit about Toastmaster before we proceed in a common layman language. We are here to improve ourselves on using experiential learning methods. That is, we come here, deliver a project, gather feedback, and then apply those feedback to get a better version of our skill, get a better version of ourselves. And in doing this process, we just try to ace our communication and leadership skills here. We have a packed agenda. We have a speakathon event that is being held today. We will be having 5 speakers who are going to present the various projects from their pathways manual, followed by an introduction or a run-up to the contest that will be done by Toastmaster Mellon, and followed by evaluation. We will be talking more about the agenda items as we proceed. Before I start off with the first agenda item, that is the speakathon, I'll just like to introduce you with my fellow team members who are going to help me run this show today, and that is my tag team. Tag me timer, R counter, and Grammedia. Each of these roles help us when we try to communicate. Each of these role basically help us to communicate better in a right way. So I'll just go ahead and invite the timer for the day, that is Toastmaster John. Toastmaster John, please unmute yourself and explain about your roles and responsibility.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shihas. Today I'm the timer. Greetings all. As a timer, I will be timing table topic speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I'll also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red background to note specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise the green background. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I'll raise the red background. Giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific times. There'd be a grace period of 30 seconds before and after each speech. Icebreakers should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I'll raise the green background. At 5 minutes, the yellow background, and at 6 minutes, the red background. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green. At 6 minutes, the yellow, and at 7 minutes, the red. And finally, the individual evaluation should be between 2 and 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the yellow, and 3 minutes, the red card. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. Now, next we have our R counter for the day, and R counter for today is Toastmaster Guillermo. Toastmaster Guillermo, please come forward and explain your roles for this meet today.
Yes, I am the A counter. The purpose of the A counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guillermo. Next, we have our grammarian. Grammarian today is Dr. Stephen. Dr. Stephen, can you please share the word of the day and a little bit more about your roles and responsibilities?
Hello, Toastmasters and honored guests. Today, the word of the day is fastidious, and which it means very attentive to and concerned about accuracy and detail. And the role of a grammarian, my responsibility is to pay attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. And I would take note of any misuse of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quote, saying, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it's also my duty to track the use of the word of the day. And an example of the word of the day, fastidious, would be, he chooses his words with fastidious care. Another example would be, the child seemed fastidious about getting her fingers sticky or dirty. Now, I also posted the word of the day in the chat, so please refer to that if you have any questions. And please make use of the word of the day, and I will be tracking and giving you the report at the end of the meeting. Now back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivan, for explaining your role. And just a note or to add on, so whenever any speaker is using the word of the day, we would like each one of us to encourage the speaker by clapping or by showing a show of hands. So this is how we basically learn a new word every day. Okay. So with that being said, now we have all the ground rules set. We know how you will be timed and how our tag team is going to help you improve. Let's go ahead and start off with the first section, that is the speakathon. As I said, that we have 5 speakers lined up to you, and they are going to present projects across various Toastmaster manuals. And evaluating each of these speakers are the evaluator, who will be coming up later to share details if they met the speech objectives or not. So without further ado, we'll just go ahead and start off with the first section, that is the speakathon. First speaker for this evening is DTM Raghu. DTM Raghu is going to present a project from his DTM manual. The title of his speech is Mission 101. Evaluating Toastmaster Raghu speech is to DTM Ashwin. And DTM Raghu, before I hand over the control to you, would you like to do a quick audio and a video check?
Let's check audio, video.
Perfect. You are visible and audible. Toastmaster John, just for your reference, all the speeches today is between 5 to 7 minutes. Green 5, 6 yellow, and 7.
I think you need to invite Ashwin for speech objectives.
Yeah, so that is planned for this. We will do that at the end. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Toastmaster Raghu, Mission 101. Mission 101, Toastmaster Raghu.
Okay, I just love to remain in gallery mode, so don't spotlight me. Unlike any other organization, Toastmaster hierarchy is in a reverse mode, with members on the top. And our officers, or rather fastidious officers, always serving the members in every level, club, area, division, and district. They're trying to help members to achieve their goals. The ultimate goal is to help the members, right? But then did you ever wonder, why do clubs fail? The clubs are chartered and they fail. The clubs which are run for a while, they fail. And there are clubs which have legacy, but they survive or thrive. What is the difference when these are not able to do, but these are able? When pandemic hit, I got opportunity to visit several clubs across almost 144 countries. But the saddest part is some of them doesn't exist anymore. And some of them were the only clubs in their countries. For example, Herzegovina, it's one country there, a beautiful country, where there was only one club, and the club doesn't exist anymore. What's the reason? It might be several, depends upon things. But what was the major thing that I found was people didn't understand, especially the new clubs. There's no one to tell them how Toastmasters actually helps. Rather, most of the time, the clubs go in the conversation of jargons. And I have been insisting in all the clubs I've been working with, there is Toastmaster for professionals, a Toastmaster for entrepreneurs and professionals, interpersonal Toastmasters. A Sattvic Toastmaster now is to talk in a language that layman can understand, not in the jargons. And that has helped these clubs thrive or survive. So at this point, I thought, why not extend this and help other clubs, especially the ones that are struggling, and also help areas, divisions, and districts to achieve certain goals. Last year, as part of my Distinguished Toastmasters project, I was able to conduct several education sessions across districts, which helped many of them to understand and see through why pathways, or rather why achieve Distinguished Toastmaster award. And there were several other sessions too, which help people. So this time I thought, why not work on a project conducting education sessions across clubs, areas, and divisions and districts, so that people can benefit and see the actual value of Toastmasters, which will help these clubs and members reconsider their membership and extend their membership. And this is the goal that I'm working on. Well, I was invited to give a session in Dilsuknagar Toastmasters, which is part of Hyderabad. And I went there and gave a session, that I saw the difference it made before and after the meeting. People were able to relate pathways to what they can do and achieve of it. Why prepared speeches? Why impromptu speeches? And they saw that benefit. It also helped the club to see the value in how they can do. And it helped the club to improve that they were doing. Which is why I came up with this project called Mission 101. With my mentors, DTM Mary Thomas, helping me on this project as a guidance committee, and my team, DTM Rajiv and DTM Hushikesh, will be helping as my team members. Overall, our goal is to go across as much as possible to penetrate in whether it's clubs, areas, or division, or district, and help them to see value, whether it is how to give speeches, or why even speeches, or why to give even attending table topics, or practicing those impromptu speeches, clubs, how and why. Overall goal is to help members and clubs see the value as much as possible. I have been invited to different countries already. I have a session coming up on September 9th, and one is in Dubai and one is in California. And I've also been invited to Caribbean Islands, Bahamas. The communication plan that we have set up is to meet after each and every session, get feedback from the club, and then sit with my guidance club, especially Mary, and see how I can improve, how we can together improve. Whether it is me or Rajiv or Hushikesh who are giving this session, overall goal is to help people see the value. It doesn't matter whether you are a Toastmaster or Distinguished Toastmaster or whatever it is, the overall goal is to improve yourself. At the same time, as a servant leader, help others see the value. I've seen the value by serving in both as a district leader and also in part of speechcraft and everything. I've seen that hesitation, especially when people don't join speechcraft program just because they didn't complete the assignment or they will hesitate to speak. My overall goal is to remove that hesitation and help these people see the value and see the one core value in Toastmaster is respecting. And by respecting, when we see that people cannot do it, when we can tell them, assure them that it's okay not to do, but just that keep trying and you will be able to reach the other core value, the excellence. Mission 101. 101 Messiah, just like one auspicious number from India, because I picked up just because of that. But overall, it might be more than that sessions. The goal is to help members, the highest one in this hierarchy, to see the value and grow as much as possible. I hope we together as a team can make the difference and help the world see the value in publicity. I'll see you around with my second speech after I complete. The overall timeline for this is 6 months, and we will be conducting several other sessions too in between. So I'll see you around. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu, and all the very best for your mission. I would highly encourage the members and guests to share your constructive feedback about Raghu's speech to Toastmaster Raghu through direct message, which will help him become a better version of himself. Next, we have our speaker, Karthik. Toastmaster Karthik will be delivering his speech from Persuasive Influence Pathways program, and this would be his first speech from the level 1. Evaluating Toastmaster Karthik is Toastmaster Ekta. Toastmaster Ekta, can you please come forward and share Karthik's speech objective with the audience? Toastmaster Ekta, are you there?
Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, dear Toastmasters. Today I am here to share the speech objectives for Karthik, which is body language and voice modulation. Karthik would be talking about any topic of his choice. And today his topic is 5 love languages. Here, I will be observing the use of body language and vocal variety in his speech. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Shihas.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ekta, for explaining his speech objective. Toastmaster Karthik, would you like to go for a quick audio and video check before I hand over the control to you?
Checking out.
I do see. Yes, yeah. Okay. I think you should. You can speak a little bit louder. You are audible to me, though. Okay. Toastmaster Karthik, 5 love languages. 5 love languages. Toastmaster Karthik.
During end of my college days, everyone achieved something in their life. Some achieved a good job. Some achieved their life partner. Many of them achieved something in their college days. I'm the only one who did not achieve job nor the girlfriend. I felt I'm the unluckiest person here. As the days passed on, my friends started to come back to me and started to say, Karthik, you are the luckiest person. Most of these friends who said to me this statement are in relationship. I asked surprisingly, why? Are you kidding on me? No, they said, we are unable to love. We feel like I am unable to love him or her. The opposite gender used to say, I'm doing what all has to be done to love him or her, but I could not figure it out what to do more to love her, to make her to believe that I love her or him. Surprisingly, more or less, almost every one of my friends who are into this relationship use same vocabulary, same statement. I got doubt how people are at least pretending like they are in relationship, they are in good relationship. Then why can't my friends can pretend? I'm struggling to find what is the difference that makes the people who are almost pretending to be successful or people who are failed. I figured it out. Dr. Champion already discovered something regarding this. he discovered that all people, all of us will fall into 5 love languages, and every one of us has our individual love language. Here are the 5 love languages: word of affirmation, physical touch, art of service, quality time, and precious gifts. Now let's understand what to do, how to communicate, what are the actions to take, and what are the actions to avoid while you're communicating with these people. Let's quickly jump into word of affirmations. This word of affirmations type of people like mostly to encourage, appreciate, and empathize. The action to be, you should listen very carefully actively with these people. The action to be taken is send them unexpected notes, send them unexpected gifts, send them unexpected voice notes, send them unexpected letters. Encourage them very genuinely and more often. The key most thing which you should never do is not to ignore their appreciation. And here comes the physical touch. These people are non-vocabulary. They love to do body language. They love to communicate using body language. They love to be touched. They love to pat on their back. These are the actions to be taken while you to communicate or to express your love to this physical touch people. You need to hug them, kiss them, hold their hands, pat on their back. You should intimacy with a thoughtful priority. Things you should neglect. You should not ever neglect the physical negligence. And here comes our third one, precious gifts. You should surprise them with a thoughtful gifts. Make a priority purposefully. Action to take to these people is give them thoughtful gifts personally. It's not like you have to give every time big gifts. Small gifts can create huge impact. When they give any gifts, receive them with a good gratitude. Should never do is the thing which you should never do is you should never forget occasional gifts like your marriage day, birthday, or their birthday gifts. Here comes our art of service. These people are mostly into action based I will help. They look forward that whether you are with them or for them. The actions you should take, you should jump into their work and start helping them in cooking, cleaning, work, whatever the workload, doesn't matter. They don't encourage prioritizing others. And here comes our last one, quality time. These people are less interrupted. These people are more focused. These people love to spend more time on one-on-one. These people, the action to take with these people is spend them some special moments. Spend some special moments by walking, getting outings on weekends. Have some quality conversations. These people never like distractions. These are the all 5 languages I understood that each one of us have in our love language. So in order to express or receive love, we should clearly understand these are the small insights that can help us to deliver our love much more better and lead our lives more peacefully. Hope you all understood what are the 5 love languages and drive your life by understanding your partner needs and work accordingly. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik, for your tip on 5 language. I'm pretty sure that can be used across all walks of life, be it at work or at girlfriend level or at wife level. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Toastmasters and guests, please direct message Karthik if you have any suggestions or feedback for him. Next, we move on for a third speaker. Our third speaker today is Toastmaster Brunda, and evaluating Toastmaster Brunda's speech is our President Toastmaster Catherine. Toastmaster Catherine, can you please come forward and share Toastmaster Brunda's speech objectives?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. She has Brunda, congratulations. You are attempting your level 2 project 2 of effective coaching. Your speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and we're expecting you to give your very best. As you usually do, I will be looking out for an interesting speech of your choice. I will be looking out for the principles of a good speech, a great opening, a body, and an unforgettable conclusion. The title of Brunda's speech is Cultural Shock. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Catherine. Brunda, do you want to do a quick audio check, as I already see you on video?
Yeah, can you hear me? Because I'm wearing headsets.
Yes, loud and clear, loud and clear. So
Okay, great.
Toastmaster Brunda, Culture Shock, Toastmaster Brunda.
This is my attire. Winter in Canada. Cold, very cold. And this is, I'm not even exaggerating. I haven't worn my headgear because that's even worse. You won't even recognize me. What you will be able to see is just my eyes. Everything else is cold. There's snowflakes all over. The boots are so heavy and tall. And I'm again saying, not exaggerating. This is the way I used to go to work. Wearing all this, you need to invest another 10 minutes of your time to just dress up for work. And this 10 minutes is apart from you getting your kids out the door, making sure they're wearing proper headgear, proper dress, and also they have their lunch with them. And after that, I would run to work, literally in all the snow gear. I would run in the snow. Why? Because I am from Mumbai. Indian stretchable time versus Canadian sharp time. Indians, we are relaxed. We are go-getters. We do not even have these weather challenges. What we have is pleasant weather. I don't mind the 40 degrees temperature. It is pleasant for me. I hate the snow. And let me tell you why. I just can walk out with just wearing a light dress like this. I don't need all this gear. And beyond that, I have friends along. I can just hail an auto rickshaw and I can just royally go to work. In Canada, and I was new, I didn't have my car. So I had to take a bus. I had to make sure in that dark night, it is 8 o'clock in the morning, but it's still dark outside. The bus driver sees me, so I wave to him like this and make sure I get into the bus. In Canada, we respect our private space. We don't huddle like this. If the bus looks crowded, we have to stand respectfully like this and let the bus pass. In Mumbai, even if there are 200 people and there is spot for 50 people, all the 200 of us will get into the train. I was an expert in boarding a train in Mumbai. And truly, this was just my journey. I was so committed to running after a train that I would run after the bus, even in Canada. And with all this difficulty, when I would reach work, the ordeal would never end. My shift would start at 8:30, and I had a colleague, Kathy, whose shift would start at 9 o'clock. My only aim to get to work on time, was to reach before Kathy. Kathy would reach at 8:45 for her 9 o'clock shift, and I would reach by 9 for my 8:30 shift. I had my own reasons. Kathy didn't have to go after a bus. She would just drive and come back and sit relaxed. Kathy would get a red carpet welcome when she would come to office, and I would get the eye rolls. Beyond that, Kathy was the one who at sharp 12 o'clock would drop her pen and walk out for her lunch break. And I'm still getting over my trauma of coming late to work, and I would give up my lunch hour and continue working. 4:30, Kathy again walks out the door. I would watch the clock, but I need not. I could just watch Kathy. If Kathy is walking with a bag out, it's 4:30. And I'm still living with the trauma, and I'm still adding the 15-20 minutes extra so that my boss feels that I'm a hard worker, which I was. But what mattered was the red carpet welcome in the morning. And my ordeal doesn't end there. When I talk about the door, I really miss my doorbell. For believe me, I don't have a doorbell in Canada here. Our apartments don't have doorbells. When I go to Mumbai, I love the doorbell. Imagine the number of times the doorbell goes ting tong, ting tong. I'm the first one who runs at 5 o'clock in the morning to answer the door. You know why? Because I miss all the help that we get in India. 5 o'clock, the doorbell rings. First comes the milkman. Seeing me, says, "Hello, ma'am, you're back. How are you? Everything good?" And he delivers 2 packets of fresh milk. 5:30, the doorbell goes again. Now comes the house help. I'm so surprised. At 5:30 in the morning, there's a house help here comes. She comes, she gets the milk to warm up. She makes a fresh masala chai. I've forgotten the taste of masala chai. I only know the taste of maple syrup now. Then a fresh breakfast, pancakes, masala chai. And then with all that, I just need to read the paper. The moment I even feel like reading the paper, there rings the doorbell again. I tell the maid, don't, I will open the door. When I open the door, here comes the newspaper man, fresh newspaper. And then 2 hours later, when I feel like having something different, the doorbell goes again. Coconut water. Can you imagine you get coconut water delivered at your doorstep? It feels so surreal that, wow, where am I? What happens in this world? I wish I could take, not my mom, she will feel bad about it, but I would definitely love to take the newspaper guy, the door, the house help, and the laundry guy who comes after to Canada. I wish I could do all this. In Canada, when I come back and land there, the first thing I have to do is run to the grocery, get the milk, get the bread. Then I have to do the dishes, get the laundry going, make sure there's something for food for tomorrow. And I seriously have a hangover, not the Mumbai hangover, but I have the house help hangover. But having said that, what now I know is that change is constant. Whether you move from Delhi to Mumbai or Mumbai to Canada, what matters is how you blend with the change. Today, I celebrate Holi as well as Halloween. I enjoy masala chai as well as maple syrup. And I enjoy both countries and the both cultures, and no more the culture shock, but the cultural confluence that I enjoy. Back to you, tabletop TMOD. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vrinda. That was indeed a nice take, and you did a good comparison across Canadian and the Indian culture. I'm pretty sure, like, since we are a global audience, most of the people will be able to relate to what you are saying, especially when you are expecting help from others. Thanks a lot. And I hope that our guests and members were listening to Toastmaster Vrinda. Please do share your constructive feedback with her through a direct DM. Moving on, next we have Toastmaster Lou. Toastmaster Lou is a new member to our club, and she will be joining us and starting off with her Toastmaster speech journey today. Evaluating Toastmaster Lou is Toastmaster Richa. Toastmaster Richa, can you please share Toastmaster Lou's speech objectives?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wheresoever you are. It is a pleasure and honor for me to be a part of this meeting today. As an evaluator, my speaker, Lou, is going to deliver her icebreaker speech. Her project is Persuasive Influence, and it is Level 1, Project 1 speech. The topic of her speech is Cats Have 9 Lives. I do too. And the timer, please make a note, it is 5 to 7 minutes. She must make an effort to deliver a well organized speech. The purpose is to practice applying feedback. And I also hope that she is fastidious while delivering her speech in order to make a mark in this meeting today. So I wish her all the best. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Risha. Lou, I see you are on the video. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Awesome.
Toastmaster Lou, cats have 9 lives. I do too. Cats have 9 lives. I do too. Toastmaster Lou.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Lou. Today, I'm going to give you an icebreaker speech. Cat has 9 lives. I do too. As a member of the cat lover family, I watched tons of videos about cat with my parents since I was young. Other than agreeing on the happiness these fluffy creatures bring us, we all developed different perspectives from the observations. My parents noticed that mommy cats train their kids with all the hunting skills, and then they will kick the babies out of the door when they are grown up. This behavior became their guidance to raise me. On the other hand, I learned from the cats that they are realistic, brave, way too curious, and they challenge. Because of these traits of theirs, they would probably need 9 lives to figure out the lessons to learn. Later on, it became my motto of life as well. Let me talk about my parents a little bit. My parents are typical Chinese parents. They are very cautious people, and they hate any risks and failures, especially when the failures are related to me. They gave up many potential dangerous hobbies for me because they didn't want me to lose my parents. Of course, I'm also not allowed to do risky things. They were really strict and very clingy. Fortunately, inspired by the cat's life cycles, they were aware that I should be on my own when I became an adult, and they did a great job at that. Therefore, when I was 18, I was pretty much set free, and that was the time when I came to US for undergrad study. As a cat person, I was super curious and couldn't wait to explore around. Like many international students, the first challenge was to get used to the new environment and the new learning styles. I should have spent most of my time catching up with that, but there were also many things I could do outside of school, like traveling, shopping, even dating, and then without my parents saying no to my year. My goal at that time was to play hard and work less hard. After a while, I stayed behind on schoolwork. Instead of asking for help, I kept setting unrealistic study goals that overwhelmed me. Then, without any surprises, I ended up getting Fs on my grades, which resulted in being kicked out of my school. As you may know, in all the cat's life, they will fail to fulfill their curiosities and hit their heads, or they will fall from the shelf. Same for me. That's the first time I bumped my head. I was devastated that I failed my school, and it was even more frustrating because I should have prevented these from happening. I should have been more cautious like my parents taught me to. Long story short, after studying school policies with caution, I was able to convince my college to take me back. But still, I traded my lessons with one of my cat's life. Here starts my second cat's life. One day I was talking to myself, what have I achieved if my life ended today? At that time, I couldn't think of any major achievements that I have done or completed. So I decided to live in the moment and try to achieve something, anything that I've thought of in the past. Of course, the top priority is to graduate, the lesson I haven't forgot. After I made sure that I keep up the schoolwork, I started to ride motorcycle because I wanted to do it for 10 years. And I wanted to challenge myself. Not long after I picked up that hobby, COVID came. Most people stayed at home in quarantine, but I thought it was the best time I could ever have in my life to do a motorcycle road trip. Because barely anyone was out there, so that might be even safer for me to do it alone. I carefully planned for a month, and then I rode my motorcycle from upstate New York to Dallas, Texas. The road trip was about 4,000 miles, which is 6,500 kilometers all by myself. Gladly, I make it back home safely. And then there were so many times I could have returned home, but I kept moving. And there were so many problem solving along the way I had to do. Whenever I found myself in a challenging situation on a trip, I remembered the hunting skills I learned from my parents to be extra cautious. After conquering all these, the trip actually revealed who my personality is and what I can achieve. Although it was risky, which kind of up the opposite direction from what my family taught me to, but it meant a lot to me. Finally, I was able to answer the question, what have I achieved up to this point? Now I plan to start my new journey and spend my cat's life here with the Toastmaster family. I want to become a successful speaker, leader, and a good friend to you all. I'm very curious about what kind of challenge that are waiting ahead. Thank you. Back to Shihas.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lou. Since Toastmaster Lou started her Toastmaster journey formally, can you please unmute yourself and give her an applause? Because she has started her journey and she is all the very best, Toastmaster Lou. And I'm hoping that in coming days we'll hear more from you. And this way you would be able to achieve your goal that you just said, that you want to become a better speaker and better communicator. Thank you. Next we have Toastmaster Shukrut, our last speaker for today. Evaluating Toastmaster Shukrut is Toastmaster Rajat. Rajat, can you please come forward and explain Toastmaster Shukrut's speech objective?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sia. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Today, my target speaker, Toastmaster Shukrut, will be attempting for level 1 project 2 speech from Pathways Innovative Planning. The aim of the speech is to write and deliver a speech with a specific purpose. So, with this, I would like to wish all the best to my target speaker, and I will be observing him based on the content, delivery, and the objective of the speech. Basically, a purpose, a message should be clearly come out of his speech. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sia.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajat. Toastmaster Shukrat, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. My speech title.
Okay. Oh, yeah, now I can see you. Sorry, the view is kind of split across two screens. Thank you so much. And I can see you and I can indeed hear you. Toastmaster Shukrat, decision making, Toastmaster Shukrat.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Decision making. Many of us often make decisions with which we regret later. How to take a perfect one, which would never let us regret. Let me tell you one of mine. I have completed my school. Now it's time for my undergraduation. I choose a college near my home, which is quite famous and had good ranking among all colleges. Then after a week, 1 week later, one of my friend posted few pics on Instagram about our college. After seeing those pics, I was really disappointed of my college, the campus, the infrastructure, the extra activities. Overall, it was a luxurious college. That day, I was so sad. Thought I had made a wrong decision choosing this college. Let's connect to a story and come back here again. There was a sage. He was so wise. People went to him and crowds gathered. Then the king went to him, and king saw such a wise man should be in his court. So he told the sage, "You must come with me and become my chief minister. A wise man like you shouldn't go waste sitting under a tree. You must be useful for the people." The sage said, "See, that's fine, but I have a condition. You must give me a room in your palace where I will spend every day 1 hour of my day. You should never peep into it. You should never ask me what it's about. You should never break into it. Nothing. This room should be left unexplored by you, your servants, your secret agents, and everybody." King thought, "That's not a problem. What's the problem with me? You want your room? Why do I want to look in your room? Take it." Then, whenever any important meeting is to come, this man, now who's become a minister, so he's wearing appropriate clothes for the palace. But he goes into this room, locks himself for 1 hour, and comes out. Few months and years pass. But then after, king's curiosity, they even got us to Mars. He wants to know what was he doing inside. So rumors started all around. Oh, he's doing something. He's got somebody inside. Maybe he's an enemy agent. He suddenly landed here. What's he doing there? What's he doing there? Everybody, the whole palace, started buzzing around what he's doing in this room. Everybody wants to see what's in this room, but it's always locked. He goes in, spends time there, and comes out. Especially when something important is to be done, he goes in. All kinds of rumors happen. So one day, king couldn't hold it. King asked this man, "I want to see what's in that room." He said, "Well, there's a promise made by you. If you break it, I will leave." So he contained it. He doesn't want to lose the man because he's too wise. His other courtier started talking. "How can you allow this? We don't know what's happening inside. It could be dangerous. It could be that. It could be this." One day, when he was not there, they broke open the door and went inside. They looked around. The room is empty. No furniture, no nothing. Just an empty room. Then in one corner of the room, they saw, very, very worn out clothing, and a begging bowl. They couldn't make out what this is. Then suddenly the man came. He said, "Well, you have seen. What you wanted to see, you have seen." The king asked, "What do you do here?" He said, "Whenever I want to make any important decision, I come here, wear my worn out these clothes, and sit with a begging bowl. Clearly, that I don't want to be caught up with all these things, with this palace, and I don't want to lose my wisdom in these clothes, in this jewelry, and in this stuff. So I come here, wear these clothes, sit with my begging bowl, make decisions, and come out. Now you have broken promise," and he left. So this is what meditation is for you. Every day when you sit, you strip yourself down. You don't have to do anything about it. You sit there simply and make wise decisions. Coming back, I also did the same. Went to lawn area in my house with a cool mind, thought everything, and made my decision. It was the right one. By seeing my friend's college, out of temptation of seeing the infrastructure, luxury things provided by the college, my mind got diverted. Oh, that was a wonderful college. But you know, to travel from my home to travel to that college daily would take 2 hours of my time. Because the college is so far away. But when the nearest college to my home, which is also quite good, it would not take that time. It would take just 15 minutes of my time. Daily, 2 hours for 4 years of my undergraduation. That's not a small thing. Those 2 hours for 4 years, I can invest in my studies, in my self-growth, and Toastmasters also in these activities. I hope you all got to know how to take a wise decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shukrat, for sharing the wise idea of self-meditation. Please, guests and members, please share your feedback with all the speakers, and which will help them become a better version of themselves. Just for your reference, I'll just repeat the speakers' name who shared their wisdom today. We had Toastmaster Raghu, Toastmaster Karthik, Toastmaster Vrinda, Toastmaster Lou, and Toastmaster Shukrat. Next, so we are done with our first segment of our speeches, and next is, as you all know, that Toastmasters conducts some contests every day, so every year, and as a run-up to the contest, Toastmaster Milind is here to share some insights about the contest. This will help us prepare what to expect and what are the roles and responsibilities. Toastmaster Milind, over to you. Toastmaster Milind, if you're speaking, I believe you're talking on mute.
Yeah, I said, is my screen visible?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, John, I'm going to take 15 minutes, so you can time me accordingly. You can show me 13, 14, and 15. Okay. All right. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Like she has said, I've been given the job to give you some details about the contest which we are going to have. Okay. Like she has just now mentioned, Toastmaster guidelines provide that a club can conduct 5 types of contests, not just 4, 5 types of contests: humorous, evaluation, international speech, table topics, and also something called as a tall tale contest. So during the first term, there's the first 6 months of this year, our district, that is District 101, has planned to do the humorous and the table topics. And next term, we would do the international speech and the evaluation contest. So I am here today to give you some details about this contest. What is this contest? How are we going to go about this contest? What are the things that we will learn from it, benefit from it, and what is the way in which we can participate in it? Okay, so this is what I am going to do in this next 15 minutes. So now let me give you a few details about the contest. It will be held on the 12th of September during our meeting hours. We have received nomination for about 5 to 6 contestants for each contest. And we would like more people to give their nominations. The date for closing of nominations is 8th of September. I would encourage maximum people of you to take part in this contest. Why should we are a 30 strong club? Why we should have only 5 or 6? I feel we should have 10 contestants for each contest. So buckle up. Today is still only the 28th of September. We've got 14 days. And prepare your speech and take part. Doesn't matter. Nobody is going to be watching you. Nobody is going to be, really, you will enjoy it. I have in the last 6 years been able to take part in a few contests, and I will tell you the experience is mesmerizing. And for table topics, there is no harm in you taking. You don't have to do anything. So I would like to see good participants, and I'm sure Catherine is going to push you on this. Now, what happens? From our club, the participants who come in the first place will get an opportunity to participate in the District 101 semi-finals. Now, Raghu is here and Catherine is here. If there is something which I am mentioning a little not correctly, please correct me at the appropriate time. Okay, so those of us who stand first in our club will get an opportunity to participate in the online semi-finals, which are going to be happening between mid. So there you will really start contesting and you will experience the contest at a much higher level, and the experience will be even great. There will be, and from these semi-finals, they will pick up top 6 semi-finalists, and they will get an opportunity to participate in a district level contest, which is going to be held on 21st October in San Francisco. That's an offline. So those of us who are not in San Francisco, not in the US, will have a problem, but give it a try. I mean, even if you reach there up to there also, that is a great, great achievement. Let me tell you that. Now, further details, we're going to have a humorous. Now, humorous speech is like a normal speech, 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah, qualification, will table topics, 1 to 2 minutes. Normal, like what we do every day in our club meeting. This is what we're going to do even in this thing. Humorous speech, of course, it has to be a normal speech with the opening, body, conclusion, and humor has to be brought in appropriately. I mean, it doesn't have to be a stand-up comedy or something like that. It just has to be a speech with humor used as a spice. But there has to be an opening, a body, a conclusion, all the standard things which we use in a speech. So this is the details about humorous and table topics we all know. There is no eligibility. All of us are eligible. All of us who have paid the fees up to October, up to September of this term are eligible. And okay, now we also are having the next term. So I would recommend that all of you who are going to contest, even pay for the next term, so that when you go to the semi-finals, you are not deprived of the opportunity. So all of us are eligible. Nothing. You don't require to have any level. Today, Louis, she gave a icebreaker. Even you can take part in it. Okay, so and I urge you to do it. There will be a judging criteria. There is some judges ballot. Then there are some contest rules, and there is a contestant eligibility. Now, these 3 documents, I will send it to our WhatsApp group, maybe by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I have it. I urge all of you who are taking part in the contest and who are not taking part in the contest also to go through the rule book. This item number 2, please go through it, and especially go through pages 6 to 9, 16, 19, and 20. These pages have got very important information, which is absolutely important for us as a contestant, or even as a person watching the contest, or the role players. For all of us, these pages especially are important. The document is about 24 pages. Go through it. You will learn a lot. Toastmaster, every year they revise this contest rule book. And what we have now, what I'm going to send you, is what is applicable for the year 23-24. So please go through it. It's a wonderful document. All contestants who participate will get a certificate of participation. An electronic certificate of participation will be given to all of you who participate. And of course, the top 3 in humorous and the top 3 in table topics will get a winner certificates. Okay, so this is what you're going to get. Now, how are we preparing for the contest? Me and Catherine and Shihas and Raghu have been talking about it for the last 2-3 weeks, and this is where we are. What you have to now start doing, contestants start preparing by study the judges' ballot. It's very important that you study the judge ballot, because that is the ballot, those are the criteria based on which you are going to be evaluated. So go through it so that you know what are the judges going to look for in your speech, whether it is table topic or whether it is humorous speech. And make sure that when you are preparing your speech, you are cognizant of these criteria so that you are having a better chance of getting better marks in them. We will do a contestant briefing on 11 September. All these are works. Don't worry about it. I'm just giving you information, because the contest is it's like a wedding. Now, suppose you have a wedding in your family. What do? You prepare well, right? Because wedding is a one-time affair for the bride and the bridegroom. So you want to make sure that the wedding goes off properly. So everything should go as per time, as per decorum, as per protocol, all those things, correct? So therefore, we require role players, and therefore this debriefing which we are going to do on 10th and 11th is basically to do a dry run, so that on the contest day, we do everything nicely and properly, and it becomes a memorable event. Now, the contest results will be announced the same day. After the contest is over, within 2-3 minutes, you will get the results also. So this is how the contest goes. Now, what we require, what is role players? So because the contestants, as I said, I urge many of you to take part in the contest, but we require somebody to help. Like in our meeting, we have a tag team. Here we have a little different team. So these are the role players that are required. I have listed it down over here. And the requirement is whoever opts for the role players, make sure that you become aware of the rules. The contest rule book I'm going to send you, and you are 100% available on 10th, 11th, and 12th in the evening, because 10th and 11th we will be doing a debriefing, and 12th is the contest. So you have to look at your calendar, make sure that if you have the time that day, please help us by taking up some roles. I will tell you what roles are up. First is the role of a contest chair. Now, Catherine and Shihaz have requested me, and therefore I have accepted to take the role of the contest chair. Then there is a chief judge. Now, we have identified a chief judge. She's an area director in our district. Judges. Now, there will be 5 voting judges and 1 tiebreaker judge. They will be anonymous. Nobody will know. I will not know. Only the chief judge will know. It is her or his prerogative to select these judges, and she will do it, and nobody will ever know about who the judges are. That is how it goes in a Toastmasters contest. There will be 5 voting judges and a tiebreaker. Now, here comes where I need your help. We require 2 sergeant at arms. I will tell you what is the role of it. We require 2 timers. We require 2 tally counters. We require 2 award chairs, and we require 1 Zoom master. Now, before let me tell you what is the role of this, so that you can think about it. And those of you who are not going to take part as a contestant, I require your help to opt and volunteer for these roles. If not, I and Catherine are going to handpick people from our club and give you this role. So what are the role player responsibilities? The sergeant at arms. Now, Ashwin, distinguished Toastmaster Ashwin, an experienced Toastmaster, he has agreed to be the chief sergeant at arms. So Ashwin's role will be to start the meeting, monitor Zoom, handle breakout rooms. There is an important breakout room activity which happens, especially with table topics. I will explain you later about it. So this is the responsibility. So Ashwin is agreed to become the chief sergeant at arms. Ashwin requires 1 more person to help him. So think about it. Whoever is a little familiar with Zoom, breakout rooms, please volunteer for it. We require 2 timers. Because like in our meeting, we require somebody to mind time, show the timer card, and there's a timing sheet. All this information, all this sheet, everything we will give you. So we require 2 persons for as timers. Now here again, Shihas, who is our VP Education, has agreed to become the chief timer. Shihas needs an assistant or somebody to help him. So whoever is comfortable with this, please opt for it. Then we require 2 tally counters. See what happens, the judges fill up a judge's ballot sheet, and then they give it to the tally counters, and the tally counters and the chief judge together sit and tally the votes and decide who is the first position, second position. So a tally counter also is an extremely important position, and we want people who are, who can quickly do not the calculation, who have to, basically you have to be prompt in doing things. That's all is what is required of a tally counter. Then we require award shares. See, as I mentioned, we are going to give a participant certificate, winner certificate. Now, during the contest, everything will be given. So we require 2 people who will quickly prepare the certificates, the draft of the certificate format, everything is available. All that we will give you. But we require 2 people who can quickly prepare the certificates and display it during the contest. This is the job of the awards chair. We require 2 people. Contest chair, as I said, I have taken the responsibility. So my responsibility is to run the contest, brief the role players and contestants, announce the results, and do the coordination with the chief judge, which I have already started doing. So these are the roles and these are the responsibilities. Now I would like to know from you who is ready to do which role. I think I have a little problem with my screen, looks like. Okay. Is my screen visible? I have stopped sharing. She has, but I seem to.
Do you need a timer? I volunteer as a timer.
Okay, just give me your name, timer.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, so Sabha, I'm noting it down as
Sabha.
timer with Shihas.
All right.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Sabha. Yeah.
Most
Who else is going to do which role? Who else is going to do which role? Come on, give me some names. James, what are you going to be doing?
I'm not totally sure if I'll be available those days, but I will let you know and be in contact with you.
Okay, okay. Who else wants to do some role? John has already given his name as a participant. Stefan has given. Anybody who else? Come on, guys. Let's have some participation. I require somebody for awards chair. Who can take up awards chair? If, like I said, if you don't opt for it, me and Catherine are going to pick up and select people on our own. Okay, so please opt for it quickly. Anybody else? We got Sergeant at Arms. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Liu, are you going to take part? Yeah, I saw your message. But are you going to take part in the contest as a contestant, or why don't you do some role? Why don't you do the role of a tally counter, Liu? Don't worry, we will explain you everything. Take it. You have to get involved. I mean, you'll enjoy it. I'm telling you.
Okay, I'll take the role then.
Okay, so we have Liu. So who else is going to help Liu? Come on. Who's going to help Liu?
I think Brunda has her hand raised.
No, Vrunda cannot. Vrunda is a contestant.
Oh, okay.
Vrunda cannot. Anybody has any questions, doubts? Why are we having so less response? Do you have any concerns? Do we have any doubts? Please ask us. Catherine, Raghu, we are all here. We will try to explain you and we will tell you if you have any doubts about anything. Catherine, what do we do?
Let me ask Karthik if Karthik able to take a
role. Oh yeah, Karthik, young man Karthik, what are you going to be doing? Karthik, you give a nice speech, so take up something. Ekta, I was looking at you also. So I'm writing down Karthik's name. Karthik, either you be a contestant or you are a timer. Now you decide. Okay, you have a choice. The devil and the deep sea. Okay. Okay, who else? Ekta, what about you? Telecounter.
Milind, I'm not too sure if I'm available on that particular day. I'll confirm.
Okay, okay. Who else is there? Rajat Gupta. What about you, Rajat? What are you going to do? Rajat?
Actually, I might be traveling at this day. That's why I
come on, yeah. No. All that you should not do. A contest is a great thing. It's like a festival. Yes, I told you, it is like a wedding in our club. You have to prioritize it. No, you have to prioritize it. You have to set aside your other things. Tomorrow, if you have a friend's wedding, yeah, will you not set aside time? It is like this.
Yes, I'm getting a point. Actually, I was thinking of participating as a table topic or a speaker, but I will confirm in the meantime 1 or 2 days.
Okay. Who else? Come on. Catherine, start picking up somebody whom you like. We need people for our chair. Who else?
Yeah, those were the 2 people I'm looking at.
Radhika, is she our member?
Gupta. You say
No, Milind.
No,
Radhika is
Richard's not a member.
Okay. Anybody else who is a member she has and who is not taken? Come on, let's get this thing out of her way here.
What we can do is like maybe we can just reach out offline after the meet. So now
of course, that we are going to do. But I just thought I will be a little democratic and give people a chance. Otherwise, that is what we are going to do. Anyway, this is what I had to tell you about the contest. So I have right now 2 timers. Okay, we have got 2 timers plus we have got Shihas. We have got tally counters. We have got Sergeant at Arms. Of course, Ashwin Bhai is there. So we'll fill up the other roles. Any questions? Any doubts? Catherine, Raghu, do you have any suggestions or anything I have missed out? Please.
Toastmaster Milind, I think You could just do one SAA. I could just do both. It's fine.
Yeah, SA Ashwin bhai is a little important role because of the breakout room. So I would definitely prefer two. We need somebody to be in the main room and we want somebody to go in the breakout room with the contestants.
Okay, I got you.
So we cannot compromise on not having two sergeant at arms.
Okay.
So yeah, Catherine, Raghu, any other suggestion?
Okay,
I
who
don't
wants
see
to
any
be
other
the SAA? That's the easiest role.
Well, Ashwin, now you, I'm going to leave it to you to pick up the
I'm
second
selling
SAA.
it right now. It's like, oh no, you have to be in the room and monitor people. Who wanted to monitor people?
Okay. So, yeah. Anything else,
still-
Catherine? You want me to do, or have I done everything what was expected out of me?
I
Catherine?
think you have done more than expected. Thank you so much, DTM Million. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Milan. And as you said, if not by democratic, we have to push our members because most of our members are fairly new, including me. So we have to bring up the benefits what each role brings, and hopefully from next meet onwards, we will have a better participation. Thank you so much for
Sure.
catching up us with the contest rules and sharing the guidelines. Now let's proceed further. So next is our evaluation segment. As I said, we try to do something on experiential learning. So we had a lot of speakers who came here and delivered projects from various pathways from Toastmaster manual. Now we will have evaluators who were sitting there quietly and listening to the speakers, and now they will be responding by constructive feedback on how each speaker can ace or get a better version of themselves. So without further ado, let's go ahead and call on our first evaluator, Toastmaster Ashwin. Toastmaster Ashwin will be evaluating Toastmaster Raghu's speech. And I would just like to say that earlier I missed calling Toastmaster Ashwin for reading out the objectives. So Ashwin, if you can just share the objectives and then proceed with the evaluation, that would be great. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashwin. Thank you.
Oh, that was the plan. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shehas. The evaluation for Raghu is a distinguished Toastmaster first speech. Now, the purpose of this project for the member to demonstrate his skills as a leader and a public speaker. And the purpose of his first speech for the distinguished Toastmaster is for the member to introduce his plan and vision. Now, Toastmaster or DTM Raghu, I know that your skills as a leader and public speaker are A+, but I want to know, really, what I'm interested in is your plan, your fastidious plan and vision. You began your speech with a question, and I love that. And what I'm going to tell you in my evaluation also is what I heard, what I liked, and what I noticed. Now, what I heard is that you asked the question, and when you phrase the question, especially in a speech, you get the audience's attention. Now, what I was looking for, like I said, is your fastidious plan and vision. Okay, you did lay it out, and what I liked is your passion for it. How are you going to accomplish this mission? And that was your speech title, Mission 101. How are you going to do it? Well, you said that clubs were failing. How are you going to do that? Well, you were going to help them achieve what they say, the value of Toastmasters. Well, you can't do it alone, right? Well, you need a team, and you described your team, which was great, which I really liked. And I really like this speech because, showing value of what Toastmaster is really important, because you don't see it now because we haven't put in the work yet. And I know in your second speech, you're going to tell us how it's going to be done. But I could tell you a little story that I remember the value when I took Toastmasters in. I did everything. I did the area director, district director. I did, speech contests. I took every single role. And even now, I could tell you, I could see the value in it because I'm confident enough to take any role anytime, right? And I was in your position too. So I could see your point of showing the value in this. Now, what I would recommend, what I noticed is that you were moving around, which was great. And then you had great hand gestures, especially when you're giving a speech, you want to convey how you're feeling, right? So what I recommend is that if you could put in a little vocal variety in there, show me your passion. Let me feel it, right? Get that emotion in there. And then put some pauses in there. Let us digest the information. You had great eye contact, and of course, you're very comfort in your level of speaking there. So in summary, I'm looking forward to how you're going to accomplish showing the value, and your vision was there. So thank you very much, Toastmaster or DTM Raghu. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. Next, we have evaluator for Toastmaster Karthik. Evaluating Toastmaster Karthik today is Toastmaster Ekta. Toastmaster Ekta, over to you.
Thank you, TA Modi Shihas. Karthik's topic today was 5 love languages. And the objective of the speech was use of vocal variety and body language. He started off the speech very well with giving a personal anecdote. And what I loved there was the smile that he carried through the speech. He captivated the audience with his smile at the right moments. There was gestures that he used, which were very clear. He was standing, and use of hand gestures was appropriate. He maintained eye contact, and he appeared comfortable with the audience. What I would recommend him is to use time, speech, and volume, and further practice on that particular aspect of it, because that was one of the key objectives, but I think he could have done better on that. And one other thing that I think he could do better was conclusion. I think he did give out the 5 topics, but he could have concluded strong and kind of recapped the entire topic, where I think this aspect of it needs a little more practice. Thank you, Shihas.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ekta. I hope Karthik was listening and we can see him incorporating those feedback in his next speech. Next, we have Toastmaster Catherine, who would be evaluating Toastmaster Vrinda's speech on culture shock. Toastmaster Catherine, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day Shihas. Congratulations, Brunda, on delivering a fantastic speech. The purpose of your speech was to show us how you understand your communication style, to share some aspects of the communication styles that you have encountered, but mostly to help us know your primary communication style. And this, in doing so, we didn't have to know what the communication styles are. We just needed to understand how you bring this out in a speech. So what did I see? What did I experience? And this is my opinion. Your speech was excellent. You captivated us from the beginning with your props. We saw you dressed up in winter clothing. You started off by shivering, not just with your physical body, but even the tone of your voice as you described what a difference it is to live in Canada in comparison to India. Your body language, in my view, was top-notch. Your comparison humor was subtle and positive, yet relatable to all of us who are sojourners in our journey as workers and leaders. You had repetitive expressions with your hands, bringing out what inverted commas meant, referring to time. There was one statement that I can never forget that I learned today from you as you described what was expected of you from your office boss. And that is, you said, what mattered was the red carpet welcome despite how many hours you put into work, describing how late coming was not going to be entertained at your place of work. In my view, your speech exhibit had very lengthy examples in your body, which took away from your conclusion. What would I work on? I would work on reducing some of the exhibits and giving your conclusion time, allowing the members or listeners to be called to action, helping us understand how this has impacted you as a leader, as a worker, as a mom, as a parent, and how this cultural shock can be used to build us. In essence, when I looked at how you describe your communication style by getting the bus driver, your boss at work, your children getting to school, we understood clearly what kind of communication style that you use. Your speech overall, Brunda, will be unforgettable today. In my opinion, it is a contest level speech. Congratulations and thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Catherine.
So Vrinda, you see that you have a backing for, like basically we have a nomination for a upcoming speech contest, I guess. So, thank you. Okay, so next we are going to invite Toastmaster Richa, who will be evaluating Toastmaster 2's icebreaker speech today. Toastmaster Richa.
I would really like all of you to click on reactions and please shower a lot of hearts on my icebreaker speaker today. Congratulations, Louie, for delivering her first speech on the virtual platform. We are all happy and with you today. We love the way you started the speech with a wonderful greeting and a very good eye contact. We all were with you, starting from the first moment till the last statement. That was a reflective statement, what was made by you. I like the way that you told us a lot of things about your childhood. You told us that you loved watching a lot of videos as a child. And then when you went to US for your undergraduate studies, you also told us about the challenges what you were facing and your learnings from the cat. Then we also came to know that you had got failure in your grade sheets, but you never took it in a bad way. It was not at all a discouragement for you. There was a rainbow for you in all these ways throughout, whether it was good or bad. So the best thing for me was that there was a learning everywhere in all those phases of your life, wheresoever you have been. We were all able to visualize you as a child, as an adult, and as a professional. Now, talking about your speech, I like the way that you also told us about, like, during the COVID days, we were all at our houses. You know, there were so many restrictions, but even COVID days, you took it as a blessing and you thought of taking a motorcycle ride because of the less traffic and less obstacles for you. So there was a learning, and every point, at every statement that you made. Now, as far as your evaluation judgment sheet is concerned, so let me stick to that. You excelled at the confidence level. Now, as it says, you may want to work on, I would advise you to enhance a bit on your presentation skills. For me, challenge for you would be if you are able to deliver a humorous speech. So please do add a lot of vocal variety, because I could find that you were a bit monotone right from the very beginning. Try to have a lot of dialogue, especially when you were telling us about your parents or you were telling us about the COVID days. So have some kind of dramatization on the stage, and also remember the most important element. Please do be wise, do be fastidious in order to select your title of your speech. the moment you said that cat has 9 lives, so I was actually waiting to hear what are those 9 things that you are going to tell us all about. And in case you told us, please do have little gaps in between in order to segregate those 9 pointers so that it remains fresh in our mind. Overall, it was a speech with lot of value, lot of wonderful reflective statements. In the end, the most important statements: parents are a blessing, so please do remember to cherish them. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richa. Next, we have Toastmaster Rajat, who would be evaluating Toastmaster Shukra's speech.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sias. I would like to start my evaluation with an assertion. I would like to assert that if you are still in your life somewhere and thinking that you are not at the right place, I would like to assert you to listen to Toastmaster Sukrat's speech, and it will guide you how success, failure, and everything in your life is relative to what you are comparing your success, your achievement with. So my target speakers today was trying to deliver a speech on a specific with a purpose. And the purpose I find out from his speech was to give us information how we can evaluate our condition, our status, our position in a particular stage of our life. So the more important thing that I liked about his speech is the structure. He started with his personal story as an introduction. Then he put a story of a sage, and then he connected all of his personal story and his stage to deliver a concrete conclusion. And this concrete conclusion, whole speech was trying to basically inform us to make decision and try to evaluate us based on our conditions, and should be mindful of how we are comparing our life. The elements of the thing that I liked about his speech, other than structure, was his voice. The voice modulation, in his second speech itself, he was able to produce voice modulation. His tone was sometimes down, sometimes was up based on the situation. So that one thing I feel that it has put the life in his speech. Another thing I liked about is that basically he was strict to the purpose of the speech, that the message should come out of his speech, and that message came out well about informing us. If we talk about, if I have to talk about some of the improvement that I can say, that I feel is the lack of confidence on some level of speech. So basically, if we can start little bit practicing more before delivering, then the confidence can came out in a speech very fluently. Another thing I would like to note him is about the transition. When he is writing a speech and he delivering a speech, he must mindful that the transition must be smooth. Like when a situation when he was talking about his personal story, then he started talking about the sage. Then he might take, if not a transition word, then he might take a pause to basically let the audience digest that now a transition is being placed and we are disconnecting from his personal story to a story of journalistic story. So that will help his speech more smooth and fluent. Apart from this, I would say that overall his speech was wonderful, and he strictly delivered a speech with a purpose and bring out voice modulation and body language very well. But I would like to conclude this speech, my evaluation, with a challenge to him that next time when he deliver a speech, he can practice more eye contact with everyone, every speakers, try to make more eye contact, and that will make his speech more engaging and more pleasant. Please. Over to you, Toastmaster Vijay. Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajat. I would also request each of the evaluators to please fill in those evaluation resources and share it with their target speaker so that they can mark this particular project as complete in Toastmasters pathways module so that they can proceed with their next project. With that being said, let's call upon our tag team to see how we did today. This is also an important part of how we become a better communicator. First, I would like to call upon our grammarian today, Toastmaster Stephen, to come forward and share his report. Toastmaster Stephen.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Shihar. What we had today, many of our speakers are fastidious in choosing the proper language. I'm very happy and excited about our meeting today with many good speeches. Now, I want to go over some of the minor improper use, and also this is a word of encouragement for Toastmaster Lou and for people that are new, is that we're picking on the small components that give you some suggestions for improving your use of the language. And of course, work on this, but focus more on your sharing your content, speaking your heart. So for Toastmaster Karthik on his 5 love languages, I can definitely see his vulnerability, his genuine heart showing through his speech. There was an improper use of the language, and I think I know what he meant. But when he mentioned about spend them some special moment, and I think what you mean is spend some time with them at these special moments. So, maybe pay attention to that a little bit. On Toastmaster Liu, you mentioned, this is very minor, about you came to US. And sometimes I do this as well. I'm trying to work on this because my English is not my first language, is we swallow some of the words. The proper use would be, I came to the US. I think this is also, you mentioned about revealing who my personality is. I think what you mean is what my personality is. And for Toastmaster Sukru, and this is the beautiful part about online meetings, is that online meeting that is safe, that you can watch a recording. And I use this tool many times because that's one of the ways for me to improve my usage of the language and for speaking as well. Notice you repeat many of your words twice. You mentioned about worn out clothing, and then I think you lose focus a little bit, and then you mentioned it again, worn out clothing, or wear the clothes for the cloth. Again, you mentioned there's several times that you're repeating the same words again. So just be mindful of that. Excellent use of languages by Raghu. And I love how you use compare and contrast of languages. Like you mentioned layman languages versus professional jargon. That's excellent use of the language and clear, precise use of the word that we know exactly what you mean. And many times as a professional, I tend to do this as well. I use professional jargon that makes it hard for people to follow. So use the layman language as much as possible. Try to avoid using abbreviations and professional jargon. Varunda, wonderful, wonderful speech. I loved how you use not exaggerating. I think in a way, almost like you're exaggerating, but you said not exaggerating. Just emphasis on the word and emphasis on your speech. It was excellent use of that. You mentioned also red carpet. Just when you choose short words like that, it's just like a trigger. We know exactly what you mean, like rolling out the red carpet, special treatment. Also, you mentioned, change is constant. And I like how you use change is constant. And then you also mentioned about blend with the change. Blending with the change. I love that use. And this is something that I learned personally as well. And another phrase that I love and I just learned from you as well is cultural confidence versus cultural shock. So I love that use and the contrast as well. Let's see what else. Oh, excellent use of word of the day. Many of the speakers use the word of the day. For example, Raghu, Richa, and Ashwin, you guys use it more than once. So not everyone, not all speakers today use the word of the day. And if I miss, raise your hand and so that you be known. But definitely try to use the word of the day. It is a challenge for you to focus on something else, even though you have the pressure of giving a presentation. This is bringing your speech to the next level, because if there are disruption in your speech, there is another focus or changing in the topic or something like that, you can respond to that. Because if you have a prepared speech already, and if some people are giving you an extra challenge and you're not able to rise on the challenge, then you will be struggling with that. So encourage everyone to use the word of the day, and thank you everyone for giving me the opportunity to share the grammarian report. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Shihai.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sion, for that excellent report. Next, we have Toastmaster Gurmeet to share his counter.
Thank you. Raghu, I did not find any filler words. I loved the way that you took pauses to collect your thoughts and make us appreciate the impact of your words. Karthik, I noticed that sometimes you would begin a sentence and then stop for a little bit and then restart it. I encourage you to take a pause that is a little longer before starting a sentence to think it through a little more. I liked the vocal variety and look forward to hearing from you again. Brunda, I did not find any fillers. I loved the humor and the props. They kept me entertained the whole time. Liu, I heard a few us here and there, but with a little more practice, we can remove those. I liked the trip stories and look forward to hearing from you again. Shukruth, I did not find any filler words. I did hear you restart a few sentences, so I give you the same advice that I gave to Karthik. Feel free to slow down. I loved the story and the lesson you shared with us. That is my full report. Back to you, Toastmaster Shigas.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guillermo. Next, we'll have Toastmaster John to share his time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shihas. Most people were fastidious in their time management today, starting with the prepared speeches. Raghu's at 6 minutes, 57 seconds. Karthik, 6 minutes, 18 seconds. Runda, 7 minutes, 11 seconds. Liu, 5 minutes, 47 seconds. And Shukra, 6 minutes and 54 seconds. Everyone qualifies. Informational speech ran a little over. It was about 18 minutes and 25 seconds. Mr. Malin, evaluations. Ashvin, 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Ekta, 1 minute, 36 seconds. Catherine, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Richa, 3 minutes and 19 seconds. And Rajat, 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Mostly all qualifiers. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster John, for sharing the detailed report. I believe we have come to an end for the planned agenda for this meet today. Before I just wind up, I'll just call upon Toastmaster Catherine to see if she has any announcement, and then we can adjourn for the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shihas. Toastmasters and guests, I would like to ask you to give a round of applause to our Toastmaster of the day and all our speakers for today. Our Speakathon could not have been any better than this. Thank you so much. A big, big vote of thanks to you all for your roles, for the speakers. We have had such wonderful speeches. I believe our club is growing, and I really would like to thank our guest presenter, DTM Melind, for that wonderful expression of the role taken during contests. We have a better picture. We're ready I hope you all are ready. I would like to ask you all contestants to remember the dates that Toastmaster Melind has shared. We're on our groups. To all our guests, you are most welcome. I hope you have felt the welcome because the meeting has gone beyond our time. We're unable to give you a chance to speak and to connect with us. But I'm going to ask you to go into the chat room and take the messages that our Toastmaster of the day she has shared. Please leave us with your number or your email. We would like to reach out to you, would like to connect with you. We're a club that is not just about the speeches and leadership. We're a club that is about people. We love each other, we connect with each other. And I'd like to implore you to please take a chance on us, join our club if you wish to. If you haven't signed up, please reach out to TM Shehas or ECTA. They will help you. They'll tell you what to do, and you should feel welcome. I would like to take the podium back to our Toastmaster of the day to adjourn the meeting because this was not a regular club business meeting. It was a speakathon. So back to you, Toastmaster Shehas.
Thank you, Toastmaster Catherine. Since we are a little bit over time, before we adjourn, I'll just leave the floor open for 2 minutes. If someone wants to share anything, please feel free to come forward and share any thoughts or feedback that you have. Okay. No one? No problem. Thanks a lot. Have a good rest of your day. And we will see you in our next week. Thank you so much. Thank you.